we go through traumatic events, what keeps us afloat and able to continue with everyday life? This is especially difficult when a single mother is raising children during a marriage breakup. This is a scenario that many women are up against in our modern society. In this video, Carol tells us how her faith was really valuable at this time in her life. Glad you could join us.
Carol, did your faith, I'm assuming in the midst of all this, you had faith. How did that faith help you?
Well, actually, I didn't have faith when I was married. I came to faith after I was married. And after
you were divorced?
After I was separated, not
Okay.
after I was divorced. And the role that had was that I was able to navigate a very difficult time where I felt abandoned. I had 5 children at the time. I had my
my
3
goodness.
and I had my stepchildren. I was looking after them. I didn't really have any direction. I hadn't really worked. I'd run my own company, but a very small company. I hadn't really worked in the workplace from quite a long time. I was left alone. I had very little adult company and I was totally at sea. And I did come to faith, and that faith enabled me to look at what my role was in the marriage, look at the impact of my role in the marriage. It enabled me to keep strong through storms, because after marriages come apart, there's a lot of hurt.
Yes, sure.
And it enabled that to heal. And I would like to say that whilst the marriage did come apart, and whilst my life changed irrevocably from that path, I'm on a different path. And I have wonderful friends. My family is united and strong. And whilst there are still impacts, which can be seen, you know, the stone on the water, the ripples do come out.
Yes, sure.
I'm able to deal with those impacts powerfully with the help of Jesus.
Have you been able to forgive?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I've forgiven my husband. Absolutely. In fact, in many ways, there is nothing to forgive, because we bounced off each other.
Right.
Basically. Literally like wild atoms going around. We bounced off of each other and each of other's actions.
Yeah,
But the very genesis of the destruction of the marriage, I still feel was in the line.
Seek the ways of the Lord and see the riches of his love.
The Bible says that faith is the substance of what we hope for, and it's clearly seen when we are in traumatic circumstances. Carol's testimony of faith and how the love of Jesus sustained her during this vulnerable period shows the reality of that faith. Next week, we'll be interviewing my dear wife, Judy, as she tells us how she feels about admitting it when she's wrong. God bless and see you then.
By grace